Today's session focuses on ATAL Incubation Mission to support incubation and agri-startups. And we are delighted to have two speakers joining us today for this session. And I will start with introducing our first speaker today, Dr. Sivakiran Makkam, Chief Executive Officer, ATAL Incubation Center, Sri Krishna Devaraya University, and co-chair of Alliance Group in Startup 20 under G20. He is having 14 years of experience in research, innovation, entrepreneurship, research, mentoring, technology development, policy, and intellectual properties. As CEO, his involvements extend to policy drafting, strategic planning, portfolio management, partnership development, fundraising initiatives, and talent management. His contributions underscore his commitment for fostering innovation, shaping organizational policies, and nurturing a dynamic ecosystem that thrives on strategic partnership and effective talent utilization. His mentorship has motivated 80,000 plus students, supported 50 plus startups, 40 incubators, 15 startups that received funding, handholding 30 plus colleges and 6 universities, and developed 8 technologies and conducted 100 plus programs. So with this brief introduction, I would like to hand over the session to Sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the nice introduction, good introduction. And I thank manage team, Dr. Sharvanan and his team for inviting me to share about ATAL Incubation Center at SKU and its activities pertaining to agriculture and its allied sectors. In fact, we are also mainly focused on agriculture as one of our key pillars because we are in a tier 3 town. So obviously everything we do here, it's directly or indirectly linked to agriculture practices, be it from seeding to market and its allied sectors like agro processing, food processing, dairy, mushroom, and also the logistics related to agriculture. Finally, circular economy means waste to wealth. So most of our work, goes around this. So I see that we are my discussion today will be relevant to what our manage is doing for past several years. So let me share a couple of slides, but I'll do more of talking. Slides will be just an indicator. So we started our journey way back in 2017. Ours was the first ATAL incubation center in the country to under a state-run university.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We can't see your presentation, sir. If you can share it once
coming
again.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Now it's popped up.
Yes, sir. Yes. Good to go.
Okay. Right. So as I was saying, ATAL Innovation Mission is one of the important wings of NITI Aayog. So you all know that NITI Aayog is a think tank and a key advisory body to the Prime Minister and all the other ministries. And under NITI Aayog, there is a wing. There's a stream called Innovation Wing. So where the innovation is spread in depth and wide across the country through different programs. So one of the program is ATAL Incubation Centers. There are several other programs like ATAL Tinkering Labs and many other, but ATAL Incubation Centers is something which is relevant for the today's topic. So I will dwell little in that. So way back in 2016, ATAL Innovation Mission started, and then they wanted to create 100 incubation centers across the country, which will drive innovation at grassroots levels. So we are one among them. In fact, we are the first in the country to have ATAL Incubation Center in a state-run university. So Krishna Devaraya University is a state-run university in the region of Anantapur. Anantapur is south of Hyderabad and north of Bangalore. We are also located in southern peninsula. It is also rated as second driest region in the country, though it has got its own negatives because of the unique geoclimatic conditions. We have some of the best fruits and horticulture in the country. But having said that, we witnessed a lot of migration from this place to other cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Vijayawada, so many places. People were just leaving this place. So that was the issue. Now, when we started our incubator in 2017, we thought we should address that. So what we thought, we created a vision statement. Something goes like this: we want to reverse the talent migration by creating an entrepreneurial ecosystem to boost the local economy through innovation and entrepreneurship. So idea was, if we want people to come back and start their own enterprises in these regions like Anantapur, Kannur, Nandyala, Gutti, Guntakal, all these places, then we need to create an ecosystem of entrepreneurship and tagged with innovation. So when these two things come up, then a lot of micro and medium enterprises will come, and the economy starts moving, and people will have prosperity. That was the idea. And we got a lot of patronage from many of our organizations, sister organizations. So as we moved, we did not limit ourselves to students. We had a different, very unique situation here. Though it is a university, state-run university, we have two more universities here. The entrepreneurial culture has not that much matured here. So we thought we should bring more stakeholders onto the table so that we can create a vibrant ecosystem. So we have got students, teaching and non-teaching staff of the university, and the community. Not only student community, now we started looking at retired people. And in fact, on record, we are the first incubator in the country to look at ex-servicemen as one of the stakeholders in entrepreneurial journey. How about training them and giving them second chance to start their own business, in this region? Then we started working with industry, government, farmers, NGOs. So currently we are working with one of the NGO here, where we go to polytechnic colleges and degree colleges, which otherwise are not part of startup culture. In the typical startup culture happens in universities, central government institutes, and top IITs, IIMs, and such things like that. But hardly we look at this polytechnic and degree colleges, women's college in small towns. They have raw talent. We need to tap them. So that's where we are looking at. Then societies, then investors. Though we don't have any investors in Anantapur region, we are actually creating a new cohort of individuals who have got a high net worth, to create investment portfolio, so that we can be self-sufficient even in investment. So that's how we are looking, not only at startups, we are looking at little big picture. So then we started designing our activities, how incubator should run in a region like this, where there was no startup culture, there was no entrepreneurship culture at all. Then where should we start? How should we do it? In fact, it took us almost 3 years to design a program, which we found it quite successful now. We have a six-step process, where we go and sensitize students, women, ex-servicemen, all such people. Then we scout for their interested candidates and skill them. Then we screen them and take them to a startup cohort, and provide funding, mentorship, and we also have an industrial lab, which means, suppose you are also agriculture startup ecosystem, you know this better. Suppose someone comes with an idea and they build a prototype, and then once prototype has been validated, then you go for a production and go to the market. But in between, something called piloting. Where do they do piloting? So we thought we will create space, a small industrial hub within the university campus, where they'll be given small space like 600 square feet, plug and play industry hub, where they can produce a minimum scale like 1 ton per month or 5 tons per month, like that, and test the waters. If it is successful, then they can scale. Otherwise, scaling is unnecessary and very complicated, especially those who are first time entrepreneurs. If they're serial entrepreneurs, that's different. But 90% of our input is first time entrepreneurs. Okay. So this way we have built a strong traction for ourselves. We have actually reached almost, in another couple of weeks we'll be reaching 1 lakh students in the past 3-4 years, talking to them, motivating them, giving them examples, and showing them there is an alternative to jobs. Beyond jobs, you can look at entrepreneurship as a full-time career. So we have trained almost 1,700 people. Today we are 40 startups we have, and many of the startups are exporting. And almost 2.5 crore of grants and loans are given to the startups directly from the incubator. And many of our startups have created a lot of employment. So our incubator not only provides the direct mentoring and physical space and such things to the startups. In fact, we provide a research consultants. If somebody wants to set up an industry in Anantapur, we do a lot of research and give them a feasibility study. XYZ processing is feasible technically, financially, legally, and logistic point of view, and many other angles. This particular industry works in Anantapur or any other region. Then we build strategies for them. Then we help them scale their businesses, and also we bring them collaboration. Like for example, somebody wants to build a cheese making industry in Anantapur. They need collaboration with front end and back end. So we also do that, right? Then we do the training, investment. All these services enable us to promote startup ecosystem in tier 3 towns. So this is our what we have done. This is something very unique we have done. We, rather than promoting startups directly, we promote incubators. So we go to different institutes and we collaborate with them. We help setting up incubation ecosystem in their own campuses. So till now we have been successful in mobilizing almost 30 institutes across the southern India and in Bhutan as well, so that they can come up with their own models. You can stop me anywhere you want. These are some samples. I thought I'll show you here what kind of startups we are looking at. So some of our startups are not only physically incubated, many of them are virtual. See, for example, Pure Me Organics. She's from Maharashtra, Kolhapur. So we are helping them to revive the traditional jaggery businesses through innovation. Then Urban Nature, a second one is from Odisha, that's from tribal startup. The student, this particular startup founder, is engaging tribal women in preparing this cold drink straws from a particular grass variety. It's called Dinanath grass, right? Then you have got this mango turmeric latte. So this startup is in Zirakpur, Punjab, but she gets raw material from Lakadong turmeric and Manyam turmeric, mangoes from Gujarat, and milk powder from Haryana, and she's making latte and go, or drink on a go, like that kind of convenience foods. So these are the different samples of startups we have, and we also have a very close association with wildlife protection. So we hardly see any incubators working in a wildlife protection directly. So we have embarked into that, how some of these technologies can help in protection of the wildlife. So live wire detector we have done specifically for WWF on the request. So this is in the market now. And beyond this, we also have some new. These are new startups which have recently we funded. For example, this AI Pandits. This is called the first one. Say Circular is a e-learning platform dedicated for green job employment. What does it mean? We have linear value cycle in businesses. Any industry you take, it's typically linear. A raw material comes, a product is manufactured, and the waste is discarded. So end of the life. But most of them can be recycled back into the system and create a new line of employment. For that, you need new skills. So this particular startup is trying to create a learning platform by engaging universities to bring out circular economy courses and provide them at affordable pricing with university certification. So that is one we are looking at. Though it is not directly related to agriculture, but many of the circular economy related value chain happens within the agriculture and food processing. Second one is a Neofran. He is a young startup. He started cultivating saffron in Anantapur using hydroponic, the cold room technology. mimicking the Himalayan atmosphere here, trying to grow saffron and derive neuro enhancing and immuno-enhancing byproducts from their flowers and petals. Then Dhanvin is someone who is trying to convert banana waste into furniture. So because Anantapur district and Kadapa district are known for banana cultivation, almost 60,000 hectares of banana cultivation is happening, but the stems are mostly discarded or burnt off. Okay, like the same problem with paddy in Punjab. Same thing we are facing here. So they have come with a solution where they can actually make particle boards from banana waste using safe chemicals. Typically use the formaldehyde and such chemicals for binding the materials, which are actually not safe for workers or not for the environment. So we are coming with a new adhesives from tree based or resin based materials, so that this is eco friendly not only for the consumer but also for them, for the labor who makes them. So this way we are supporting startups, young entrepreneurs at grassroots level, but they're scalable. We do not typically support no, individual entrepreneur with no scope to scale. So we are looking at a tinge of innovation. So that's what we do. And this is a smart snapshot of our incubator. Though it is a mandate is 10,000 square feet of working area we need to have, but we have almost 40,000 square feet of working area where startups can take the space on rental basis. They can use the space for training, they can use the space for business development. And apart from that, we also have 5 acres of dedicated land where we have set up small sheds so that they can pilot their uh, minimum viable product and test initially before they go to the market full on. So this is how ATAL Incubation Center at Krishna Devaraya University has been empowering students, ex-servicemen, farming communities, women uh, in building their own businesses. So I will end here. Thank you for the time, but I would like to answer any of your questions now.
Yeah, definitely, sir. We'll take up the questions at the end of the second speakers. But the key points that you mentioned, the key activities you were following to develop that startup ecosystem into the tier 2 or tier 3 cities of Anantapuram, is really remarkable. And the services which you offer, definitely it is going to be helpful to the startups who are looking to offer from you. So I request once again to participants, if you have any questions to the speakers, you can put it into the chat box, or you may raise hands directly, ask question to the speakers that we will take up after the second speaker's session. So with this note, we'll thank you to the Shiva Kiran sir, and we welcome to Gopal sir. So I request to Pragya, please introduce to Shiva Krishna Gopal sir now.
Yeah, can I just share the this one presentation? I'm not. It's been enabled. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is this visible now?
Yes, sir,
sir, it's
it is.
visible. So Pragya will thank you first, then you can sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Very good morning, sir. And okay, we'll move to the our next speaker, and I would like to give an introduction to our second speaker as well, Mr. G.V. Krishna Gopal. He is a Group CEO at Access Livelihoods Group. He's a social entrepreneur for the past. He's been a social entrepreneur for the past 2 decades, and he's deeply involved in designing and incubating enterprises which are usually based on cooperative principles and for charitable causes. And over the years, inspired by the Amul and Lijjat Papad model, he has successfully incubated enterprises that have significantly improved incomes for 65,000 women in rural and tribal areas across 5 states in agriculture, livestock, weaving, and forestry sectors. His passion lies in fostering enterprises that not only generate economic prosperity, but also contribute meaningfully to the well-being of communities, embodying a vision for more inclusive and socially responsible future. So with this brief introduction, I would like to hand over the session to Sir.
Yeah, thank you. So good morning, everyone. Access Livelihoods is an organization which has been working for last 17 years now. We are present across multiple states, and we have 19 offices, with the central office being at Hyderabad. Our mission is to create a world that works for everyone: producers, consumers, investors, and entrepreneurs. And we hope to reach 1 million by 2032. Today, as on date, in 17 years, we have implemented more than 500 projects with 100 partners. And why we are an incubator, it is very clear that all our projects are related to incubating enterprises in the weaving, agriculture, handloom, livestock sectors. And we predominantly focused in creating enterprises which are owned by women. So in a way, as an established incubation center under the ATAL Innovation Mission, we are slightly different in two different cases. First thing is, we are a private incubator. We are not hosted in a academic institution. And second thing is that we were a for-profit entity. We are a public limited company, which was given an incubator status based on our work with the women. Now, the third important factor is that we are one of the very few incubators which is specifically focused only on women. There are like Vanasthali University and other people also who are focused on women, but we are one of the very few incubators which is focused on the women. So these are the three important factors when we talk about as an incubation center. Now, as an incubation center, generally, you can have a range of activities from pre-incubation activities to almost post-incubation and acceleration services. So we have categorized our work into these 5 different programs, which are the long-term missions, where we are trying to work with for a decade. And the first of it is, we incubate collective agri enterprises at the grassroots level. We work across 4 states, 7 districts, and there are 16 collective enterprises with whom we have been working for last 5 to 6 years. And the idea is that all of these people become self-sustaining and viable. Usually, whenever enterprises are incubated, there is always a valley of death, and this valley of death is before the 5 years of the enterprise existence in its life cycle. And generally, 95% of enterprises do really collapse during this time. So, as an incubator, what we have done is, we have taken a proactive stand that wherever we incubate an enterprise which is owned by women, we will give them at least 8 years of handholding support, so that they actually move past the valley of death, and whatever infant mortality is, they are not susceptible to this. Their revenue structures really emerge properly, and they are able to survive by their own. Operationally, they are also sustainable. Now, for this to happen, we introduced 3 flagship programs under Operation Butterfly to basically help young people and women to manage enterprises. And these are pre-incubation programs. I specifically call them pre-incubation programs and not education programs, because they are entrepreneurship linked, and majority of the time, 75% of the time, is actually in the field where they set up their enterprise in a very closely guided and mentored way. So in these 3 programs, which are targeted for young women as well as young we have a 9-month mini MBA, which is offered along with Manage. In fact, Manage is our technical partner in it, which we offer to the women, where at the end of 9 months, they get a mini MBA certificate, and women also prepare an enterprise business plan, which they pitch for, and if they raise investment, they also set up the enterprises, where we give a handholding support beyond. Then there are 2 programs which are targeted for young people. There is a 2-year program for social entrepreneurs who actually go through what we call as a 4D discovery process, and this is a kind of a process helps them to design their own enterprise during the program. And once they set up this enterprise, they get certification. So that is the second one. The third is a fellowship, which is for 12 months to look at green enterprises and social enterprises. The third is incubating weaver enterprises, where if you look at women in the grassroots level, they are either 75% of them are either engaged in agriculture or in handloom and artisan sector. So therefore, for these two sectors, we have separate programs where we incubate enterprises. Then we have financial inclusion program and a micro incubation program, wherein we have set up in 104 districts micro incubation centers where tiny, micro and small enterprises can actually be incubated. We are supporting more than 12,000 enterprises during with this. Women who are grounding their own enterprises and setting up their own enterprises. We help them end to end, again for 4 to 5 years for each of these enterprises. So taking a deep dive into each of this, when we say incubation, we work across these 4-5 states, and it has a 6-step process where enterprise is formulated, inputs and raw material that is required for the enterprise are arranged. Finance required is also arranged. We give both debt financing and equity financing through the incubator. Processing infrastructure is also established. We use something called as a build, operate, lease and transfer kind of a model, where process infrastructure up to 10,000, 20,000 liters with investment of 5 crores, 6 crores, dairy plants, the food processing units are set up, and technology that is required to back up this entire procurement to marketing is enabled with an end-to-end ERP, and a market linkage is provided. Now, every year, if you look at, we are working with almost 18,000 women who are the shareholders and of these enterprises. Every year, they market around 18 to 20 crores agriculture commodities as well as food products through this entire network. They have a brand called Creo, and this is operated through a clusters which we have identified in the back. Now, so this gives a much more better clear picture on what kind of services we give as an incubator. If you look at it, so if you look at it, we promote and register enterprises. That's the grounding part. Then we have raised finance, which is 56.20 crores. We have raised over a period of last 6-7 years. Part of it also came from NITI Aayog, where we got a seed capital of 2.5 crores. And then we have developed the infrastructure in dairy, poultry, paddy seed processing, groundnut processing, which are now run and managed by women. And we have provided marketing support of 45.2 crores in the last 6-7 years. So you can see the products also, they're all very neatly branded, and it is called as Creo. So all these are done as part of the incubation support, which at the grassroots level. Then, as I mentioned, the Operation Butterfly, which is the pre-incubation programs, largely focuses on experiential learning, where people go on programs to create their own enterprise, identify business opportunities, set up these enterprises. But we are very clear that we want a value system which is based on trusteeship, and also a sensitive approach towards both the planet and the people, which means that they have to be truly a green enterprise and social enterprise. So for this to happen, we go through an integrated learning model. In fact, at higher education, you will see that hardly there are any programs which are focused on integrated learning, where the heart, body, mind and soul, all the 4 are addressed. And based on that, we have created pillars in 24 courses, which are offered through the various programs. We have done these programs across multiple states, and more than 800 to 900 young women and men have gone through this program, and they're done. So this is an example. Apart from this, we also do short-term entrepreneurship programs like the Mini Dairy Entrepreneurship Program, Agri Retailing Program. So these programs are also done for the farmers as well as young people. And we have been associated with several academic institutions like TIS, IRMA and Manage, as well as IIT Mumbai, in running these programs so that young people do it. Currently, we are in the process of going for the next cohorts, like the 2-year social entrepreneurship will be in the 6th cohort, and Reimagine Responsible Enterprises Fellowship will be in the 3rd cohort. women entrepreneurship program is already in the almost like 14th or 15th batch that we are trying to do. So we are into that process. So Operation Web is with the women in the rural areas, especially from Srikakulam, East Godavari and Narayanpet. Here we focus on how do these enterprises really increase the economic returns, reignite pride and dignity in the craft, and create a social capital which can manage these enterprises by themselves. You can look at it. In fact, there is substantial technological innovation in this. We have using something called as reverse engineering, where a garment design is visualized before, and based on that weaving, the fabric is done. So you no longer require patchwork to be done. Instead, you can actually visualize the end garment. Accordingly, weaving is done. It's a complex process where we are, for the first time, we even created for the ERP for the end-to-end, right from yarn stage to the end garment side. And we have helped the entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs. There are 900 women entrepreneurs who go through these clusters, and they have a sales of 5 crores. They have their own store called Creo, and this is a store in Hyderabad. Then more than 22 crores worth of sales have been done so far. The ERP is completely this one. They do a 19 lakh meters of production every year, and multiple outputs are done. The digital financial inclusion program, we are doing it across multiple states, across 5-6 states, and you can see that we almost reached to 5 lakh women and nearly 10,000 enterprises who are provided enterprise incubation support services at the ground level. Then we have a digital Sakhi program where around 510 villages across the country, we have digital Sakhis, women who have been identified and who are completely digital financially literate, and who can provide grassroots enterprises the complete grounding to end-to-end marketing and all this support. So every year we do around 900, on a pilot basis, we are done with 900 women with Amazon, but now we continue to work with around 5 lakh women and 5,100 women entrepreneurs. Then we are working across 5 states where we work on incubation model, micro incubation model, where at the pre-incubation stage, we have enterprise awareness program, enterprise development programs. Subsequently, there are incubation and acceleration support. Then there is an enterprise platform where market and credit linkages are provided and handholding is provided. This is a collaborative program with SIDBI. We call this as Swavlamban Connect Kendra. And across 100 districts, we have these women entrepreneurs working around it. And we also work on temple town projects with the Ministry of MSME, where we have created 800 entrepreneurs and grounded more than 300 enterprises, and providing financial linkages to around 250 enterprises, where loans with the size of 2 to 10 lakhs has been provided to small enterprises. So it's a huge work that we are trying to do, and every year around 12,000 to 13,000 enterprises get support through these micro incubation centers at the ground level. I end with this slide. We are a hybrid architecture where we have not-for-profits and for-profits working specific service to the enterprises. This is very critical that when we work with small enterprises, we have to give a package of services where the entrepreneur gets one-stop solution, the finance, marketing services, learning and capacity development and incubation. All of these are provided. This one, we have also started an international foundation in 2021 and to raise resources for these enterprises. And we are a group of professionals from the Institute of Rural Management who have come together to start this enterprise, and we are managing it for the last 17 years. We got several awards. We got the National Startup Award as the best incubator in the country in 2021. And we also got the Harvard Tata Soy Award. We are supported by 4 different ministries, and Ministry of External Affairs also had recently supported us to replicate our model in Malawi, and where again Manage was a key partner with us. With GIZ we are done. So thank you. Yeah, I can stop at this level.
Yeah, thank you so much, Krishna Gopal sir. to give the brief about access livelihoods initiatives, especially for the women entrepreneurs, the activities you perform, yeah, and different stakeholders, partners also involved. Manage is also working with the access livelihood. It's a really remarkable work you are doing since last 17 years, as you mentioned. And the most important part that you mentioned about the butterfly operation, pre-incubation program, that awareness you are creating at a very ground root level, it's really remarkable. So with this short note, we will move to the next session of this webinar, that is the question and answer. I would request to participants once again, if you have any queries or questions, you can put it in the chat box, or you may raise the hands to ask question directly to the speakers. So I can see few questions are already there in the chat box. I'll take a first one, which is asked by the Mr. Prashant, and he seems to be from Karnataka, Bangalore. And I think he question asked to the sir only. That sir, can Shiva Kiran sir, can he be the part of your incubation center, as it is placed in the apart from the Karnataka region? So can he be the part of your incubation center to get the
No, our
services?
incubator is a pan-India operations. We don't have any such restriction. Depending on the pedigree and depending on the work, we subjectively choose them for incubation. We have good number of startups from Himachal Pradesh and Odisha, and also they are matured, so we believe in them. So even if they are virtually incubated with us, it's fine. So if you are really interested to take our incubation services, you can reach out to us. I think Pragna has shared the details. So write to us, we'll connect. Then we'll take up the discussion. No problem. If it fits in your core sector, and if there are triple bottom line like social, economical, ecological, something you're doing apart from making money, we'll be happy to support you.
Yeah, and one more interesting thing, sir, you mentioned that you have labs and the trials and demos. So from the startup perspective, it's really important to know any charges or how exactly it is, or any financial provision is there for the get in subsidized rate. So if you can give a little bit idea
Ah,
on that, it will help to other
No, definitely.
participants
See, this
also.
for that, no, we have not. What we have done is, see, our university started in 1981, so we have got very distinguished alumni who have contributed a lot in this region. There is a foundation called Anantapur Development Initiative, Adi Foundation, which is started by the alumni of this university. So what they have done is they have created a corpus of some money, and university has given 5 acres of land. So in that land, we have requested them to set up small units on a rental basis, where our startups, the startups which are incubated with the AAC, are given a priority at a subsidized pricing. The subsidization is very relative. There is no, is a case basis. Those who have got grants, they're asked to pay some, at least electricity charges and the staff on for the utilities and maintenance. For those who have not yet got any grant or any financial support from government or private, they are given at least 1 year of, what I would say, free for some time, so that they will make some money. Then they can pay us later. Idea was not to make money. Idea was to make sure that they don't drop off for lack of resources.
Right, right,
And it is not forever, it's for 3 years. Not we
right.
don't give beyond 3 years in any space. They have to
Got
move
it,
out.
got it, sir. Yeah, so it will be really going to be help to the starters who are looking to take the benefit of it. There
Yes.
is one question is from the Raju Goel. He seems to be running his one NGO called Nutri Hill Foundation, and he's working with this NGO for the malnutrition. Research-based innovation is done on a low cost for fermented foods, processed foods. So can his NGO will get the incubation support maybe in your incubation center, or you may suggest maybe Krishna Gopal sir or Shiva Kiran sir, where they can get the support for their this activity.
I think KG will be the right person to answer. But we have also supported a couple of NGOs as startups, because today many NGOs are Section 8 companies, and they're also recognized as startups. Startups are not not defined by the motive of the profit or the how the profit is utilized at the end. So the startup is defined based on whether it's a new legal entity which has got innovation in its blood, which is solving some major issue, right? How it is generating fund and how it is utilizing the fund determines if it's profit or not for profit. So even if you're not for profit, still you can be a startup. So in that angle, we still support such NGOs, right? So that we have already done it one in Bangalore. So we have supported a Infinite Foundation, which promotes entrepreneurship in rural areas. So we have funded them, and we have given some manpower to them, and we have given a lot of other support like technical training support.
Great. Krishna Gopal sir, you want to add something or any suggestions to this
Yeah, so
NGO?
I mean, completely agree with what Sinkaran has said. Startups doesn't mean that it should be only for-profit enterprises. In fact, we firmly believe that not-for-profits and cooperatives and producer companies are also startups which are owned. And in fact, our incubator focuses only on not-for-profits and cooperatives and producer companies. So there are several ways in which you can get support, sir. If you are a grassroots NGO, I think if your scale is not big right now, and first thing is you can actually get it recognized as an MSME and as a startup. Once you recognize, then there is under Startup India, you have different schemes. In fact, Manage also runs a scheme, RKVY-RAFTAAR, and the seed capital support under the National Startup Mission, the Startup India also gives a 25 lakhs grant. So if you are at the startup stage, I should suggest that you should go through that process where you recognize your MSME, not-for-profit as an MSME, like we have done. We have done our foundations as MSME, and we have taken seed grant supports. But if you are at a slightly matured phase, I think I suggest that you have to focus on corporate social responsibility, CSR funds, and you can also look at philanthropic foundations, multiple philanthropic foundations. But as a not-for-profit, it is also important that you should take exemptions like 12A and ATG from the income tax department, so that any organization which is willing to give support, especially Indian organizations, they'll be happy. But if you are looking for foreign funds, then you have to go through the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, FCRA, under the Ministry of Home Affairs. And then if you get a registration, you will be eligible to get that funds.
I think it's really a value suggestion. Other than the Rajiv, many more startups are working with the APOs and farmers. And as you suggested, they will definitely take up the benefit of the grants are there, and the ministry is offering many benefits through the infrastructure. So definitely they will go. So sir, in the participants, there are different sets of participants are joined, like students also are there. And they are keen to know any training programs for the agribusiness students you are planning, or maybe internship programs are there. So they will got to know how exactly startup ecosystem is working and in what way they can, where you have a little bit information on that. Shiva, Kiran sir, you want to go first?
Okay. Yeah, see, we have two kinds of programs for stakeholders. One is a rolling cohort-based model where we engage with the current students who are studying in different universities, because our approach, we moved from startup first to ecosystem first approach. So in that way, we actually engage with the current students of different universities and colleges. We run cohort-based. And but we also have lateral entry of applications through our website or even LinkedIn. People reach out to us, so we make a batch of such like 10 to 12 such innovators or ideas or startups, and run programs. Sometimes what happens virtually, if you're already a little senior person in terms of your professional career, I want to leave your career and start entrepreneurship full time. We also consider your seniority and seriousness. So we will have a rolling model where as and when you join, we will engage with you and start helping build your business.
Okay.
So, but for
Krishna
more
Gopal, sir,
details, you can always visit our incubation center website or to me, so that we will share more details.
right, sir. We will be sharing the links also to the participants. Krishna Gopal, sir, in what way
Yeah.
the students
Yeah, so young students, my suggestion
or
is
entrepreneurs
that,
can connect?
yeah. So young students, I suggest that we have, see, our observation based on incubation over a period of time is that entrepreneur has to prepare sufficiently himself or herself. And one of the fundamental thing that is required for preparation is to understand the problem that you would like to address, or a challenge or an opportunity that you would like to address. If you have a deep understanding about it, then you will be able to really conceptualize a very good sound startup. If you don't understand the problem or challenge or an opportunity that you're trying to look at it, then I feel that people start with one single product, and the cycle, every product has its own life cycle. So within a short period, within 4 years or 5 years, the product will become outdated because of technology and all those changes. And then the enterprise will be struggling to figure out what it has to do in the future. So I think my first suggestion is any young person first has to understand that you have to focus on and getting a clarity on what is the opportunity that you would like to capitalize on, or what is the challenge that you would like to address. For this, that's the reason why we have in our programs, we have pre-incubation programs, and I would suggest any entrepreneur who goes through, anybody who's a aspiring entrepreneur, while most management degrees and agribusiness programs really offer substantial technical know-how and knowledge and managerial knowledge in the classroom based, they have to, the ideal way to start is to go through a fellowship program or a pre-incubation program where they get to know the grassroots much more deeply. Supposing you are wanting to work in agriculture, please get down to the villages, start working with the farmers, understand really what are the issues. And if you understand that and then start conceptualizing your enterprise, I'm sure it will be a very successful. We have pre-incubation programs, like I said, we have a 1 year pre-incubation, 13-month pre-incubation program, and a 2 year pre-incubation program, both of which is available. We have online the application forms for it, and we are happy to have people join this.
Yeah, great, Krishna Gopal. So I think it is going to be really helpful with entrepreneurs. So similar to on that, apply this training program. Applications are open. 31st December means a day after tomorrow is the last day to apply this program. After the first week of January, this program will begin. So it's a really a good program to understand the basics of the startups, that how you can register your startup, what are the different forms of legal entity, how you, in a way, in a which way you can able to raise the students or the budding entrepreneurs who are looking to know how they can start up their own business, so they can register this program. The link is in the chat box. Coming looking at your RKVY project incubating, and he's looking to get support from the so be Krishna Gopal sir, ALC, AICSQ, any kind of support you are providing for the patent registration, or if you know any scheme where they can get the money for registering their patent, so it will be really helpful to the Vishal.
I think Shivakaran can take, because we generally are not, our enterprises that we are working at are grassroots enterprises. We have not been applying for patents. So Shivakaran might tackle.
Okay. All right. So here there are several ways you can get support. One, we have strict guidelines in my incubator that the startups which are incubated with us will get the privilege of patenting with our money. Okay, we do not support startups who are not from the our own incubator, especially for patenting. Okay, second, but I can suggest you ways where you can get actually the support, financial support. One is NRDC, National Research and Development Corporation, that is the enterprise of the government, where an individual, a student, a woman, anybody Any Indian citizen can get support for patenting, and post the patent grant, they'll also help you to commercialize it. Okay, so NRDC is a right agency for you. Um, and there are grants. If you are currently a student in a university or a college, every college or every university is entitled for patent support from Government of India. There's certain money yeah, that has been dedicated for this purpose. That is called Kapila scheme. Name is called Kapila, Kapila, Kapila scheme, where each education institute gets reimbursement for at least 10 patents. So you can avail that facility as well. Yes, these are the things that I could tell right away.
Yeah, Vishal, I hope it is going to be helpful to you. And in addition to Shiva Kiran sir, based on the state missions policies also, there are some provisions made by the state missions. So that in that way, you can also get the help for the patent also. So where you can able to reimburse the amount whatever you paid, but it will be vary to state. So you can get more details. You can raise query to us also. Maybe we can able to connect you with the respective missions or maybe the resource persons where you can able to get the help for the patenting. There is one speaker in the there is one attendee that I must say, the Dilip Kumar. He wants to ask question to the speaker. So Dilip, can you hear us? You may ask question directly to the speakers.
Yes, sir, sir, am I
Yeah,
audible,
Dilip,
sir?
you're audible. You can ask question.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, good afternoon, sir. So my question, like, it's like a blend, like most Sivkumar Sekaran sir and also Vishnupal sir can address it. So, like, I'm having, like, sir, I had an idea of starting an mushroom business, sir. So in Sekaran sir, like, initially, as I was talking about the mushrooms, sir, in the Vishnudevara University, that I remember it now. So like I'm having this one, sir. I have completed my graduation in 2021. So it's been 3 years from that. So can I even now apply to the Krishna Devaraya Incubation Center, sir? And I'm also like, sir, Krishna Gopal, sir, like, sir, I have this initiative to include all the women so that it's like having the both socio and economic aspect so that it's like a cooperative model where like I'll be like there'll be a company where I would be heading to the company, then I'll be teaching all the skill to the rural women where they could learn the skill and how to grow the mushroom, and so that they could send me the product so that I could even market it. And it's also like helps in the doubling the farmers income. So like I would like to know like what help that I could get in this aspect, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think KG can answer. They have been doing some work in that line.
Yeah, so if you are interested in setting up a supporting the women, the cooperative structure is a beautiful structure. And since you are also going to be part of this one, I would recommend that you set up a cooperative, and you also become a member along with the women, and you can have the shares. And once you have set up, you set up a board for it, and then you should also have you can be appointed as the managing director for the particular cooperative. This is legally, that is a process, but I think even before you set up, first thing that you have to look at it is that you have to create a business case. Like while mushrooms might be viable for you, if you have to support, let's say 15 women or 20 women, whatever be it, that 20 women, then what is the individual unit size? What is the minimum income that the women have to derive? That you have to work out. And our experience says that if you don't get at least 15 to 20,000 per month as income, women are not interested to pick it up. So once you have a model which can give them 15 to 20,000 as an income, and the unit is very clearly described, the unit economics are known, then I think going forward and partnering with women and they becoming shareholders of this producer company is also there. And similarly, you should be able to visualize what is a common infrastructure. And I have looked at mushroom business in multiple states. I think the common infrastructure that is required is a small cold store and also the seed incubation. That has to be done for the mushrooms. So both these units have to be centrally set up, and from where the seed units can be actually given. And then there has to be common marketing facility that you have to offer, where once the production is done by the woman, you should be able to pick it up and sell it on a brand. The producer company has to do it. So it's an end-to-end support that you have to give to the women and set up these enterprises. There are a lot of support possible for this under the government of India. If you are setting up a producer company for women, both the Ministry of Food Processing as well as Ministry of Agriculture, they have good schemes. Under the 10,000 FPO scheme also, there is an equity grant that is possible, where 15 lakhs of equity grant can come to the producer company. Similarly, you can also use the startup funds. Once you set up, you can use the startup seed grant and everything. So I think it's a very good time right now, actually, because of NITI Aayog, several ministries, both the Department of Science and Technology as well as Ministry of Agriculture, everybody, Ministry of MSME, everybody is trying to support startups and really give a ecosystem kind of this one. I think you should take advantage and move forward. Any kind of support you require in future in terms of advice, please contact me. I am happy to provide.
Yeah, thank you, Krishna Gopal. I hope Dilip Kumarji, you got the answer. And as correctly Krishna Gopal sir mentioned, each and every ministry is there to support the startups. It's a good time to start your own business. And alone only NITI Aayog has 72 plus incubation centers across the India. So wherever you find that the startups or the incubation center is going to help you, you can approach to them to get the knowledge and to get the handholding support. As time is running, but I'll take one last comment coming from the Prabhakar. There is a confusion that always about the startup. The startups, especially who are helping or the running as a non-profit companies. So in what way they can get the benefit? As a DPIT has clearly mentioned, the startup can be a registered partnership or LLP or private limited company. But there are few organizations who are working as a non-profit basis. In what way they can get the benefit of these startup incubators? So if can Krishna Gopal sir or maybe Shiva Kumar sir help him in that way.
Okay. See, recently we have funded one such case which fits your description. They are they are not for profit entity. They are Section 8 company. When you say not for profit, it could be something like quasi NGO. Okay, where they make money but they don't enjoy the money. Right, that's the idea of not for profit or for profit. Profit should not go into the pockets of the promoter. It should go to the objective for which the organization has been set up. So we are also actually a company in all practical purpose. ATAL Incubation Center is a company. Okay, it's not an NGO. Okay, so but it has got a one angle NGO angle, another angle is a corporate angle. So that's how we work. So and we can call ourselves as a startup. So start in only I think in my experience of G20 thing, I can tell you with audacity that India is the only country in the entire world that has got clear mandate what is startup, what is not startup. No country in the world has got such definition, such a recognition from the government, because we have got something called DPIIT, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, which is a part of Ministry of Commerce, which has got DIPP numbering. Okay, that number, DIPP number, is the number that defines you as a startup. That is a self-assessing, filling application form online, where you have to apply and get it. Once you get that number, then you are recognized as a startup for all practical purposes, and you are eligible for all the such funding which are earmarked for startups. Okay, whether you are NGO or not, that is different. Startup means a new legal entity which is innovative in its approach or a product or any of such things, which has not made more than 100 crores of money, which is not 10 years old, uh, uh, and which has got a business model which is sustainable. They're not even saying scalable, they're saying sustainable. So if you fit into all these things, then no matter what you are, who you are a startup. So you are eligible for all the Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, SISFS, Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, which is almost 945 crores of money, which is distributed through 300 incubators. We are also one among them. And there are many other incubators which are giving that. So you will be eligible for grant for 20 lakhs and debt or a convertible note for 50 lakhs. So you're eligible for that.
Right, right. You are correct, sir. As you correctly mentioned, although we are incubators are also running as a private company, but the structure or the legal structure of the company is a different at a Section 8 company. We have to run as a startup company to be the sustainable, to be run the programs, to be run the pay the salaries, and to support the startups. So we have to run as our incubation center as a business. So that's why we are charging for some of these training programs. And still, Prabhakar, you have some want more clarity on the definition of startup from the ministry. So the link is already shared in the chat box. So you'll get more details based on the registrations part and the turnover of the company, the form of the company. The definition is vary for the startup. So you'll get a better idea. So now the time is coming to the end. So before that, there are a few announcements to the participants. We request you kindly provide us the feedback of the today's webinar. And if you want to arrange new webinars in the upcoming weeks. So kindly give us some suggestions also. We'll try to arrange such webinars in the upcoming webinars on Saturdays and try to give us the feedback as well. Along with that, we have the applications open for the incubation program. 31st December is the last day to register that program. We want to start program by next week, January, because January 2nd, and it depends on the availability of the training. So I'll get details. I think someone is asking in the chat box. So yeah, we'll get the email from our end, those who are registered the startups for this pre-incubation program. Yeah, with this, I also request to the participants